Good morning, everyone. Can you see me or can you hear me?
Yes, we can see you and hear you.
Fantastic. Okay, I know that we're still letting in a few more people, but we will definitely get started here shortly. Make sure that all our presenters are here, which I fantastically see. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for attending today's webinar. We appreciate you setting time out of your day, and our hope is that you walk away with a better understanding of the benefits and opportunities from your service. We have a bit of housekeeping to review, so please bear with me. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and your consent is required. Participation in the meeting will act as your acknowledgement for the recording. You'll notice that your camera and microphone options are off. This is to limit distractions and maximize bandwidth for an optimal presentation. When applying for benefits or services, I would like to encourage you to provide a non-DoD email address. You'll also notice that the chat function at the bottom of your screen will be utilized for resource sharing, as Kirk has so kindly added some pieces there just now. There's also a Q&A function. This is a public forum, so please exercise respectful inquiries when submitting your questions. So a bit of housekeeping to just let everybody know, and friendly reminder that in the event of an emergency, please leave your personal belongings wherever you may be and safely exit the premises, or exercise caution with whatever emergency arises. If you experience a loss of internet service or connection, please rejoin the webinar utilizing the link provided in your email. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do some introductions. So a little bit about myself. My name is Cherie Nuez. I've been working for CalVet for 3 years. Previous to this position, I worked for the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Unit, assisting current and aspiring veteran business owners become DVBE certified so that they can procure with the state. So if you're interested in becoming DVBE certified or procuring goods or services with the state, feel free to ask me. My father is a 20-year Air Force veteran, and I still actually have a few family members actively serving. Joining me today is my fellow training coordinator, Kirk Eller, who's already been dropping things in the chat there, and kind of going to be on the behind the scenes offering any kind of answers to the questions that you have. We do also have subject matter experts joining us today. We have David West from the Nevada County Veterans Service Office, or CVSO, and Annette Walliver, our Central Valley Local Interagency Network Coordinator, or LINK, who will be speaking later on. Also, just a friendly reminder, when applying for benefits or services, I'd like to encourage you to provide a non-DoD email address. So within that, let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and give you a CalTAP overview, which is meant to give you a snapshot of benefits and resources available to you. The goal is to get your feet wet with the benefits and acquainted with what your benefits are, where to find these benefits, and along with phone numbers and emails to people that can assist you in accessing these valuable benefits. So what is CalTAP? CalTAP stands for California Transition Assistance Program. Essentially, we are here to help you multilaterally. CalTAP is designed to inform and connect veterans of all eras to their earned federal and state benefits, as well as provide continued support and assistance as their needs, aka your needs, change over time through 5 pathways: core curriculum, education, employment, entrepreneurship, and service providers. Oops. So sorry. Right here, what you can see on the screen is our veteran resource book. This is a tool meant to enlighten, educate, and empower you. Kirk went ahead and dropped a PDF copy for you in the chat for you to download, so I would highly recommend and suggest that. I would also like to note that if you're interested in obtaining a hard copy version, you may do so on the CalVet website. There's a form that you can complete, and a hard copy will be sent to you. So let's go ahead and explore our website here. So the web address for CalVet is calvet.ca.gov. This is how you can use CalTAP online. So CalTAP online is essentially open 24/7. This is access to info regarding benefits and services. And as indicated on the circle there where the laptop is, that's how you're going to get to the CalTAP webpage. So let's go ahead and explore that. As I mentioned earlier, when you click that, this takes to our CalTAP webpage. I mentioned the 5 pathways. And as you know, your needs may change and may vary 5, 10, or 15 years, or who even knows, next week. Know that this is a great snapshot of how you can utilize your California benefits as it relates to you or your family members. Let's go ahead and explore further the core curriculum pathway. The core curriculum pathway has videos and training materials articulating how to access services, benefits, or other resources. Consider it self-paced. You can leisurely scroll through all these modules. You can select which one pertains to you specifically, and what you want to further learn about. There are several different videos and training materials on how-tos. So how to access any services, how to access your benefits, and any resources. So really at your own pace. Let's go ahead and explore more of those California specific benefits. As you can see here, I have 3 listed: the college tuition fee waiver, veteran designated driver's license, and the motor vehicle registration fee waiver. So dependents of veterans with a service disability rating of 0 or higher could qualify for the college tuition fee waiver. Veteran designation unlocks certain employment, housing, and education benefits. And the Department of Motor Vehicles also has honoring veteran license plates. So I'd like to also remind you that in the chat, Kirk has been posting several links and additional information if any of these pique your interest. So definitely refer back to the chat to see if you want to look and read a little bit further on those specific benefits. Next, we have the Department of Park and Recs provides a distinguished veteran pass, which entitles you to use of all basic facilities in California state parks. Department of Fish and Wildlife has special days for military and discounted rates for disabled veterans. And if you weren't aware, California has 58 counties with diverse tax regulations. So I'd highly suggest you speak to your county assessor for any kind of tax or fee exemptions that you may be eligible for. Again, details for each of these benefits can be found in the chat via the links provided. A little bit about Calvet. For those of you that this might be your first webinar or might not know what kind of resources we provide. We have 6 divisions. CalTAP is part of the Veteran Services Division. I'd like to think that Calvet, the Veteran Services Division, is a multifaceted unit whose goal is to best service and assist service members, veterans, their families, and service providers seeking to work or partner with veterans on a culturally competent level. We also have an excellent home loans division. So the VA and Calvet are completely separate programs with different qualifications. However, VA home loans and Calvet home loans together maximize their purchasing power. We have a women's division. In California, there are, believe it or not, more than 163,000 female veterans. You should be recognized for your service. So know our women vets out there. We have a division with great resources and great opportunities to outreach and connect with fellow women vets. Kirk has went ahead and will drop in the registration for the women's veteran roster. Highly recommend and suggest you to join that if you're interested in connecting with fellow women vets. We also have a minorities and underrepresented division. California estimates that 47% of veterans are minorities. This division seeks to identify gaps and increase accessibility. And there's also an excellent new program, Pathway to Citizenship, for those that have served and are seeking citizenship. There's also excellent LGBTQ support and resources. And also they've increased significantly our outreach to our Native American service members. They as well have another roster that you can join and get information about those specific outreach opportunities and events. So I'd highly suggest you to sign on there. We have homes for long-term care. This is income-based skilled nursing and assisted living facilities. They do provide nationally recognized premier care. So if you're interested in that, there's more information with the links provided. And then also we do have cemeteries, a cemeteries division. Definitely a way of thinking of preserving your legacy and your time of service. California vets are eligible to apply for internment at Seaside and Redding. We do have another location in Yountville. However, the Yountville Cemetery is reserved for the residents of the Yountville home. So I know that we've given you quite a bit of information, whether it was me speaking or Kirk in the chat. And maybe some of the items we discussed currently doesn't apply to you or your family, but we understand situations change over time. Strongly encourage you to provide your email address, remember, non-DOD, to CalTAP at calvet.ca.gov. So we can continue our relationship and supporting you just as much as we did today by periodically touching bases with you. I will emphasize your email will not be spammed. We will only send you emails to check in or send benefit resources. And another way you can send your non-DOD email address is by filling out our survey. So that's there on the bottom of the hyperlink and also the QR code provided. The survey is an amazing tool for us. We do actively use the information collected from our surveys to improve our presentations with the ultimate goal of providing military service members, veterans, and families with the most beneficial information and wraparound support. Another great way to get information on state and federal benefits and upcoming CalVet hosted webinars is to register on the CalVet website. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that here. This is from our CalVet website. Remember the pathway I showed you for CalTAP. As indicated in the red circle there, you can register and you can tailor whatever interest you may want within what's happening with CalVet and receive information that way. We also have a monthly newsletter full of great information that will be provided to you and a brief note from our Deputy Secretary, Keith Boylan. Each month has a different focus and provides you a listing of upcoming events. So on the federal side, not to forget our partners there at the VA, we would like to highlight the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, or VA. You may or may not be familiar with this webpage, and if not, it is va.gov. This website provides you with 24/7 access for veterans for 4 areas: healthcare, disability, education, and records. This website is rich in information and resources that you may be eligible for. As you can see, we circle the top right login to create an account and revisit for your account. Some of you may know when you do create an account or you log back in, it will be logging you into My VA. This is the replacement for e-benefits. So rest assured, it's none of your information is lost. I believe they're in a transitionary period currently. But this is a place for, it's a joint VA and DoD web portal to manage military benefits, view claims, transfer entitlements, or update direct deposit or service members, veterans, families, and care providers. But we do have a subject matter expert, our CVSO, David, later, who will talk a little bit more about how to best access that and how his role, along with his staff's role, to help everybody, and Annette as well, who can help us. So what we have right here, this will include my little section here, is how you can contact us for future questions. The question and answer is still open throughout this whole presentation, so feel free if a question arises that you may have, drop it in there. We'll definitely answer it, and we'll also have a question and answer portion towards the end. But we have our social media and also our YouTube there. This webinar, in fact, will be posted onto our YouTube. So if there's something that you missed or something you want to recapture, you can visit us there. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our local interagency network coordinator from the Central Valley, Annette Walliver. Annette.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Annette Walliver. I am the link, but basically what I am, I'm a field rep, one of the 8 field reps for the state of California. And we work with state and federal agencies to assist our current and prior military service members. Next slide, please. So you can see that CalVet has divided the state into 8 regions. Each color is a region with a coordinating link. I'm the Central Valley link. I cover Stanislaus, Kern counties, and I travel the 99 all the time. My job is outreach. And we work as a team throughout the state, the 8 of us, working with the state and federal agencies. But within our individual community systems, we build additional services for veterans by working with our nonprofits, our local agencies, so that we can make sure that our military service members get the benefits and services they deserve. Next slide, please. So we provide outreach to service members, veterans, and their families. Yesterday, I was at the Lemoore Naval Air Station addressing retirees from the service so that they're aware of their benefits before they even separate from the military. I go to community college veterans resource centers. These are typically recently separated veterans, and we want to make sure they are also aware. And then we go to our libraries, veterans resource centers. These are community partners in remote areas where many times they are lifelines to veteran services because there's no other services available there. And then we make referrals and work directly with established service provider networks. And we do this by being involved with our Veterans Employment Committees, our collaboratives. And so that way we can do those, and which I'm going to talk about in a minute, when we assist with local emergencies. About 3 months ago, I was at the local assistance center in Mariposa County, assisting those veterans who were impacted by the Oak Fire. In some cases, they lost everything, not only their homes, but their paperwork. And that DD Form 214, that is a very valuable piece of paperwork that really gets veterans connected to their benefits. But by working with the local county Veteran Service Office, we were able to request copies of their DD Form 214, and also with CalVet home loan agents get their certificate of eligibility so they could go forward with a CalVet or a VA home loan. We also currently, anybody who calls into 1-800-CalVet for any information, those calls are being forwarded to some of us field agents. So whether I get a call from Klamath Falls or San Diego, because I know the state and federal agencies, I'm able to assist them. But if we need to go deeper into their communities, I can contact their coordinating link. A good example of what we do here in the Central Valley, our VEC here in Fresno has about 400 members. And if somebody needs a car battery or somebody had a hole in their roof, we can contact our local community members and we can get those resources that they need. And then we provide leadership and advocacy to local communities by staying in touch with them, making sure they're aware of everything, any updates or changes to benefits or services, but also if there's any gaps in services that we can forward to headquarters. Next slide, please. So getting connected to your benefits, that's what I'm all about. That's what I do day in and day out. And these are the agencies that I work with. In fact, I'm kind of the poster child for getting connected to your benefits. I served in the United States Army from 1975 to 1978. I used my GI Bill, received my degree. I I was in retail for 28 years and I got a VA home loan, and I thought, well, that's pretty much it. But it wasn't until 12 years ago when I started working for the state of California that I realized I'm available for additional benefits. I didn't realize I could file for compensation. So I have a service-connected disability, which gives me additional benefits. I didn't realize I could still enroll in VA healthcare. And as Sherry said earlier, needs change over time. You may not need it today or tomorrow, but maybe 10 or 15 years down the road, a lot of these benefits don't expire. So when it comes to employment and training, the Employment Development Department has dedicated staff that work solely with veterans to get them connected to employers, whether it's interview skills, resumes, or just getting the opportunity to, at a job fair, they work with veterans day in and day out. I actually was an EDD vet rep for 8 years, so I know how hard they work. And they are co-located in the America's Job Center of California. These AJCCs have the tools that you can use at no cost to you, whether it's printers, scanners, computers, job boards. They're there to assist you filing for unemployment, disability, or paid family leave. Take advantage of this opportunity. California state benefits, well, that's what I'm all about. And that's what Calvet is all about. And every state has different eligibilities and different benefits. But it's the CVSOs, the County Veteran Service Offices. These are the boots on the ground. They administer the state and federal benefits. They're trained by Calvet. They know what they're doing. Whether you're filing for compensation and pension, college tuition fee waiver, DMV forms, they're there to assist you. And sometimes just sitting down with them and having a conversation with them may assist you with getting additional benefits that you weren't even aware of. Healthcare, we should be mindful of our healthcare during this time. I've been very fortunate, enrolled in VA healthcare the last 2 years. Most of my appointments with my doctor have been through VA Connect or telehealth. So it's been very easy to manage my healthcare during this time. And you can go onto their website and sign up, or you can actually just call eligibility and they can get you signed up over the phone. And the vet center is there for you and your family to assist with any additional needs that you might have. Next slide, please. So this is my contact information. I'm a United States Army veteran. I have a service-connected disability. I've used most of the benefits that I'm entitled to. If you need a soft handoff on anything, I'm there for you. Or if you need to get connected to the link in your area, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you for your service and thank you for being here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Annette. Greatly appreciate your material there. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and get to the next slide here. I'm going to go ahead and introduce David West for the County Veteran Service Officer for Nevada County. Go ahead and take it away, David.
Well, thank you very much, Cherie. My name is David West, Nevada County Veteran Services Officer. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning and taking the time to learn a little about what we as CVSOs do within the state of California. Next slide, please. All right, so what is a CVSO? What do we do? First off, we're responsible for assisting the veterans, their dependents, and surviving spouses in our counties with receiving the federal, state, and local benefits that they are entitled to. All right. In 2020, we were able to assist the veterans in the state of California receive $540 million in annualized benefits, with 336 that being continuing annual benefits. All right. So when we file a claim, the reason why one number is bigger than the other is when we file a claim, if it takes the VA 8 months to file a claim, they're going to get 8 months of back pay from the day we submitted that claim. And that's what drives that number up. The ongoing is what they get on a monthly stipend for their compensation. All right. We as VSOs are usually the first point of contact for family members or veterans when they're first seeking their first trying to seek out, find out what benefits are entitled to them. Right. We'll have children of elderly veterans coming in saying, my father's a veteran, you know, he's getting older. How can we help him? My father just passed, he's entitled to burial benefits. Right. Or the veteran comes in and goes, you know, I never even tapped in because I didn't think I needed it. They come in, they ask for us for help, right? And explaining what's available to them. All right. And what we try to do is we try to act as the hub in our local community, right? I want you to think of it as a big wagon wheel. Right? In our community, we've got veterans organizations that help us. We got our county office, right? And there's a bunch of stuff that happens within the community. And we want to be on the outer side of that rim. We want to be as close as we can into the middle of that wagon wheel. So that way we're aware of what's going on. We can report, we can assist, we can be where people are, where the veterans are. Next slide, please. Types of assistance that we provide. The number one thing that we do is we counsel veterans and their family members on the benefits that are available to them, right? But we also network and advocate the federal and state local agencies. We make referrals for mental health. Here in Nevada County, we receive a grant from CalVet that allows me to make referrals for veterans in my community to receive free and confidential healthcare, mental health services, to help them with what they're going through at the moment. We can help with burial benefits. We help with discharge upgrades. The simplest way for me to tell you is that we are social workers for veterans. Every day is a little different. I never know what's going to happen. A prime example would be locally, the local Bank of America had a real tattered flag, and I received maybe 15 phone calls about people complaining about the flag the Bank of America was flying. And I called and they didn't know how to do it. So I went over there and helped them raise the new flag so that they can, you know, retire the old flag and show the proper respect for our flag. Next slide, please. So these are some of the agencies and counties and local agencies that we work with, right? So we advocate, we work with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. We try to align, have a good relationship with the Veterans Affairs. Our job is to fight for our clients with the Veterans Affairs, but we just can't have a fighting mentality. We got to have a partnership mentality. It really helps. We work with Calvet on a continual basis with state benefits that are available. We have our California Association of County Veteran Services Officers. That is all the counties together, working together, advocating on the state level. And then locally, you have your VFW, American Legion, DAV, Swords to Plowshares, other agencies that we collaborate, and we got to know all these benefits and help our veterans. Next slide, please. What benefits are available? These are just some of the benefits that are available to the veterans through the VA system. All right. So you got your Veterans Health Administration. There you got your healthcare benefits, the hospitals and clinics. You got some pharmacy. There's different programs for in-home care for our elderly veterans in the later stage of their life. Okay. And there's a lot more programs that are available through the VHA. But then we also got the VBA, the Veterans Benefits Administration. That's our claims for compensation, pension, education and training, the GI Bill, Veterans Readiness and Employment. This is another form of continuing education, home loans, life insurance. Okay, there's a lot of things in the VBA that we also have to know about. And then we got the National Cemetery Association, which is burial benefits. Also, headstones, markers, and medallions are available for our veterans so they're properly marked to their service. And one of my least favorite parts of my job is the presidential certificates. Each family is entitled to receive a letter from the current president of the United States. And the reason why it's one of my least favorite parts of my job, it's also one of my funnest, is that I just get to look at them and say, would you guys really like a letter from the presidential letter? And they say, can we get the old one? No, you can't. I don't like this guy. Well, then you don't have to ask for that letter. You get the letter from the current president, and it's good little thing for the family members. Next slide, please. We got work with Calvet and know the state programs are available for our veterans, right? So we already talked about CalTAP. We also got the college tuition fee waiver. Every veteran in the state of California who is service connected from 0 to 100%, their children are entitled to have their college fees waived. If that isn't an initiative enough to come visit your VSO and get service connected for your benefits, I don't know what is, right? We do things to make our children's lives easier, and that is a great benefit for the state of California. They got the Calvet home loan. They got veterans homes, state cemeteries. They're a great partner. Our office really tries to align well with our link and Calvet. They're a great resource. We are very happy with the collaboration. We work with them on a daily basis. Next slide, please. All right, so here's the meat and potatoes of what we do. What is a service-connected disability? A service-connected disability is any injury, condition, or disease that is caused by military service. All right, or it can be aggravated by military service, meaning they had a bad knee that they blew out in high school playing football junior year. Senior year got better. Doctor said they could join, and then they joined the Marine Corps, like myself. And the Marine Corps made them run every day, 6 miles, hump, march, do all kinds of stuff. And that knee got worse beyond its normal progression that it would have had he just been a normal civilian, right? And then we got secondary disability, meaning this veteran had a bad left knee. After a while, the right knee is going to go bad because he starts leaning more on his right knee. Then we got 2 bad knees, then we can go to the back, right? The thing is, though, that these conditions must be chronic in nature, meaning they can't be acute or transitory. They have to be there, and you get compensated on the level of severity of your conditions. All right. One thing I want to talk about, just because something isn't in somebody's service records, their medical records while they were in, does not mean they cannot get service connected for a disease or injury post-service. Let's take our older veterans got exposed to chemicals Chemicals in the Navy back in the 50s and 60s, right? JP4, JP5, that's jet fuel. These are very toxic chemicals. Breathe in, get on your skin, do things, can lead to cancers, things of that nature. Agent Orange, exposure to Agent Orange. It was a defoliant that was used in Vietnam to get all the brush away. But it was very bad stuff, and it causes cancers, and it causes Parkinson's and other things. So just because you didn't complain about the injury in service does not mean you cannot get service connected for that post-service. Next slide, please. Requirements to establish service connection. First off, it is incumbent upon the veteran to substantiate the following conditions, all right? We have to have first a qualifying event in service, meaning mental health, PTSD, meaning they were in combat, engaged in combat, saw something bad. In Vietnam, exposed to Agent Orange. Maybe they were in infantry around loud noises. They got their, hearing loss and tinnitus. Tinnitus is ringing in the ears. We have to have an event, they hurt their back and they got a bad back now, okay? An injury, so then they got to have an injury from that event. We have to have a current diagnosis, meaning, we don't want to just say my leg hurts and they go in, the doctor looks at it and goes, your leg's fine, right? We want to make sure that there's actual a condition there. And last, we need a nexus. And what that is, it's a link between the event in service and their current condition. It usually comes from the form of a doctor in a medical opinion. They look at the veteran service service records, everything he complained about, his history or hers. I'm sorry, ladies, I don't want to leave you out, or her condition, right? And then the VA examiner will look at it and be like, yeah, there's two ways they do this, right? Is at least as likely as not, which is 51 to 49%. That's kind of like, yeah, I guess. Or it's more likely than not, meaning, yeah, it definitely happened in service, right? Or they say, no, it's not related at all. And then, we'll come back and attack that bad decision later. Next slide, please. All right, so what is the process to filing claims? This is what we do here in Nevada County. When a veteran or their family member comes in and talks to us, we first have a meeting where we counsel them, look at their DD-214, talk about their history, right? And we do two things. First, we assign ourselves as their representative so that we can advocate for them and help them through the process. And then we submit what's called an intent to file. It's a no harm, no foul piece of paper that tells the VA, hey, we're thinking about filing a claim, but we need some time to get all our medical evidence and things together before we submit our claim. And that piece of paper is good for 1 year. All right. If the veteran doesn't file a claim within 1 year, that goes away. However, if they file a claim within 10 months, then it takes another 6 months for the VA to file the claim. That means the veteran is now entitled to 14 months of back pay based on that intent to file that we submitted. All right. So as we're talking, we're like, is it in your service record? Did you hurt your knee in service? Yeah. Cool. We got stuff to work with. No, it didn't. I got cancer. I didn't have cancer in service. Okay. What chemicals were you? What was around? How do we relate this to your service? All right. So we go through that and then we make another appointment. And here in Nevada County, it's usually 2 weeks after the first meeting. We give them a lot of homework, things what they got to do. And then we will file the claim and then we just wait. We wait for the VA process to play out. The reason why the VA process is so lengthy is unlike Social Security, where there's a math formula, right? This person worked for this long, there's this much money, and this is what they got, dependents. It's not like that. That actual human being has to go through all these claims that the VA takes on because we're all different, depending on our upbringing, where we're from, our education level, the branch of service we were in, and our post-military history. It all comes together. So that is the reason why the process takes so long. In our office, we encourage our veterans that they get a letter, call us, we're going to help them. Help them and know if we have to submit something or if it's just a normal form letter that they send out. It happens all the time. And just real quick, I want to say something. I used to be an RVSR. I was a rating veteran service representative for the VA. I taught this stuff on a national level, and now I'm a VSO. And when I file a claim, I have a representative because I think I know what I'm doing. And then I get letters when I think I submitted that. So I have to have somebody help me because I don't have access to my stuff. Next slide, please. Another thing we do is we help veterans with upgrade their discharges, right? Not all of us get an honorable discharge. Some of us will get a less than honorable discharge. And in the military, they tell you, you're not going to get any benefits because of that. You can upgrade that discharge, right? There's a process. It's a lengthy process. But what we do is we take that veteran's history. What was going on in your time of life that made you make these bad decisions? Were you a combat vet? How many tours did you do? What was going on to substantiate, like, how do we do that? Another thing we're going to require is we want buddy statements talking about what a good person this is. And last, we want letters from community leaders, the church, nonprofits, things that they're doing, helping. We want these letters to show that this veteran, that he or she is living the values and the morals that the military instilled in them while they were in. Even though they made bad decisions while they were in, they took that and they continued to live by the example that was instilled in them, right? That's what we aim to achieve. We ask the veterans to take some ownership for what they did, right? You can't just explain things away. I did this, this is what I did, and this is why I did it. All right. There's only 2 instances that we as a VSO or anybody, any veteran service organization, cannot assist a veteran with upgrading their discharge. And that is if they were discharged in lieu of court-martial, meaning they got in trouble and they were going to go to court-martial, but they came and said, hey, we'll give you a discharge, but you don't have to go, we'll just get you out. And they say, okay, that's basically admitting guilt, and the VA is not cool with that. All right. Or they're AWOL for a period of 180 days. Those are the only 2 instances where there's a statutory bar for benefits, and the VA is not even going to consider looking at your application for compensation. Next slide, please. How do I find my VSO? We already talked about the book, the big blue book that we all love so much. We're right there in chapter 7, advisory, advocacy, and assistance, right? You go in there, you look for your county VSO, and there's all the contact information. Next slide. Or you can go to the Calvet website, and you go up there, you click on find a service provider, you click on that, and then it's going to take you to this screen where you put in your zip code. And I would encourage you to put maximum distance to search to, like, I don't know, as far as you want to be. The cool thing about Nevada County Veterans, any VSO, is that we are the only county program that can help any veteran anywhere. We're not restricted to our county lines. Here in Nevada County, we are nationwide. We currently have 30 claims. We have 30 claims. We have claims pending in 30 different states across the country. And the greatest compliment any veteran can do is make a referral, right? Sometimes a lot of veterans want to come in here and give us gift cards or stuff. We tell them we can't take that. It's not ethical. And we'll tell them the best praise you could ever give us is refer one of your friends to us, right? That's the best praise we can get. Next slide, please. So, or you can also call that number, find a CVSO. That's for our California Association of Veteran Services Officers. You call that, you're going to get directed to the right line. And of course, the most effective and the way everybody does it now, you can always use the Google. Just type in there, Nevada County Veteran Services Officer, or whatever county you live in, and all that information is going to come up. Next slide, please. All right, with that, it's time for some questions, everybody. So does anybody have some questions?
Yes. All right, David, we do have a couple questions in here that are going to be geared towards your expertise. The first one is about veteran's dad is a Vietnam vet stationed in Thailand. He applied for his claim for benefits, and they used Agent Orange when his location, but he was denied because he needed provided a flight manifest. We've tried everywhere, but cannot find a flight manifest from 1965 out of Travis. What can we do for him?
1965. So we have, I'm just going to ask if in August 10th of 2022, the President of the United States signed into law the PACT Act. And what the PACT Act did is expanded benefits for our Vietnam era veterans, right? No longer are they restricted to Vietnam or certain MOSs in Thailand, right? Now, what it is if you served in Thailand, you are now going to be you're not going to be entitled to all the same benefits as the veterans who are in Vietnam. Okay, so I encourage you to reach out to your VSO and get the benefits that if the surviving spouse is still around. She's now entitled to DIC benefits, right? Another thing they did is they added hypertension to the list. That is huge. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of surviving spouses here that probably came in and filed claims back in the day and were told they couldn't, that it wasn't a presumptive and they got denied. Now it's time to refile for that. Hypertension causes heart attacks, strokes, a lot of secondary things that can lead veterans to an early death, and their surviving spouses are now entitled to those benefits because they expanded these laws. Hope that answers the question. Next one.
Okay, thanks, David. The next one, the same person brought up phrase about the presidential letters and said that any retiree from the military can get a presidential letter from every living president. You just have to go on their website and provide your information. So
yeah,
good to know.
Yeah.
They said they filed a BDD claim, but for some reason wasn't able to take them back to their retirement date. And they were not paid, feel they weren't paid for a month, but the VA is saying that they're correct. How can they verify this?
I encourage you to reach out to your VSO and have them look at it. Think I'm going to tell you, situations like that, you need help. You need to give us access to your C file. That's your claims folder with the VA. That's by assigning us as your representative. And that's going to allow us to get in there and see why these decisions were made, right? And then we'll be able to fight for you. That's one of those questions that I just really can't answer other than tell you, you need some help. That's one where I would ask for some help.
Yeah, okay. The next one is, can a fully disabled veteran who is receiving disability compensation earn supplemental income without losing their benefits?
100%. All right. That's one thing I want to tell you. There's this misconception. There's a benefit out there called individual unemployability. All right. What this means is we're going to use PTSD, for example. We have a veteran service connected at 70%, right? He's not suicidal. He's not hurt. He's not in danger of anybody. Like, he's functioning, right? But he or she's functioning, but can't work, right? Can't go to work. The customer's not always right. The customer's always wrong. Doesn't like the boss telling him what to do. A lot of verbal altercations, get fired a lot, can't hold down a job. They might not be entitled to 100%, but because they can't work and maintain substantially gainful employment, the VA will compensate that veteran at 100%, all right? As long as they're not working. However, if a veteran either gets one condition at 100% on its own or a combined rating of 100%, that veteran could be Elon Musk and just raking in the dollar all he wants, okay? Next slide, please. Next question.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Next one is, what's the best method to increase your VA disability? Go to a VSO or just file with the VA. I can just go to the VSO because you want to have that person, that accredited veteran officer assist you with your claim. They're experts like David, and they can advocate for you on your behalf. If there's a denial or anything, like, they can do this free of charge. So they're going to review your case. They're going to decide what kind of claim you can increase your claim for, and then they're going to go give you the best option. So that's a no-brainer. Go with the VSO.
I was going to piggyback off that a little bit, Kirk. So when you get service connected, they give these things like your PTSD, they give a diagnostic code. That's what the VA calls it. It's a 4-digit code, right? And that's how they determine the rating schedule. So a common thing is I got veterans coming in with they're 40% for their back, right? And they're like, I should be higher. And you're like, I got to tell you something. You really do not want to be 60%. And they're why? And then I tell them what it is. And they're like, yeah, that's not me, right? Or if you go in for an exam and you're not aware that if you don't know the criteria, right, you might be better, or you might present yourself better, and then the VA can propose to reduce you, right? So that's why I always say you want to talk it out and figure out if you're there, if we got to get more medical evidence, right? That's why I want to piggyback off you, Kirk. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, the next one is has a friend medically discharged, now has cancer, and was at Camp Lejeune in the mid-'80s. Could the medical discharge be upgraded? No, because you're going to get, we got a bunch of veterans that are medically discharged and they're receiving 100% compensation, right? At the time they're medically discharged, yeah, they're not going to change that
They still got an honorable, they still got the things that they needed, I hope. Right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Next question. Qualifications to perform VSO duties. This person is interested in working in this field, helping other vets. What are the best steps to prepare for applying?
It depends on the county. I'm not gonna lie to you. It depends on the county. Each county has their own hiring processes, right? My background was I started advocating for veterans back in 2007, and I've got a lot of advocacy, volunteering, working at the VA. I left in 2011 and I got back into the industry in 2018 as a VSO. I've seen people retire out of the military, become VSOs. I've seen people come straight from corporate America to become VSOs. It all reflects on your passion and how you present yourself, right?
Right.
That's just like normal job interviews. A lot of them are going to ask if you're accredited and things like that. Accredited, every VSO is accredited through CalVet. That's who we use, right? As part of the process. Some counties really lean on that, some not so much. I wasn't accredited when I got my job, and neither were some recent VSOs that have gotten hired. It really goes down to you, your resume, and your passion, right? And be able to problem solve and teach and present and talk and speak and write articles in the newspaper. There's a lot that we do.
Okay, thank you. The next one is this person was denied VA benefits for a shoulder injury, and then they want to know if they can reapply.
Yes, you can. One thing we're going to need to find is new and material medical evidence. And if you reach out to me, my contact information is there. We will take care of you and help you out.
Okay, thank you. The next one is they want to know the 2 reasons that you cannot get an upgraded discharge.
2 reasons you cannot get an upgraded discharge is discharge in lieu of court martial, meaning you took a bad discharge in order to avoid going to court, right? Going to trial, and then being AWOL in excess of 180 days. Those are the 2 instances where we cannot, it's called statutory bar benefits through Congress. We can't fight that, just the way it is.
Okay, thank you. The next one, pertaining to nexus letters, is it necessary to have more than 1 letter from other sources, like friends and doctors, specialists, or will 1 from your primary be okay?
Depends on the condition. More is always, I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I got people that say they can give me 3 letters, I want all 3, right? It's going to make it harder for the VA doctor to say no. If the VA doctors are kind of lazy, I'm just saying, I hope the VA people here, right? But if we give them 3 medical opinions from private doctors to say this is service connected, how this doctor is going to be like, okay, it's going to make it a little easier. I'm not saying it's going to work out that way all the time, but that's one of those things. When it comes to buddy statements, not a lot of weight is put on those, right? Because they're not doctors, they're not medical. They're more able to talk about your symptoms and substantiate that. They are valuable. But yeah, that's what that does.
Okay. Let's see here. And that's it for the questions. I'm going to post the National County Veteran Service Office website in the chat for that person that was interested in the how to become a service officer, so that if they want to review some of the information there, they can look at the national website.
Yeah,
and see.
I thank you for that. So I just want to tell you what the national is. So here we got the CVSO, the California Association of California Veteran Services Officers, and nationally, we have the National Association of County Veteran Services Officers, which I am on their training team. I train VSOs across the country on how to do their job, get accredited with them. It is a premier organization that offers a lot of education for people that want to get in this industry. Right? You're not going to be able to test for them. You're not going to be able to test, but you're going to be able to do some stuff to show that you're ready to take the job on.
Okay. Thanks,
Looks
David.
like we actually had 2 more questions come in, Kirk.
Yeah, this one is, I think it's the question of whether or not to file. Looks like they're a DAV life member, maybe service connected already, and they're wondering if they should go with a VSO or a DAV. So
Well, of course I'm biased. I'm not gonna lie. Of course I'm biased. I bet this person has tried to reach out to DAV and hasn't been contacted. Usually you get contacted on your first claim and when you're on appeal.
Yeah.
They're very hard to follow up with. I would recommend coming to us. We're free. Sometimes we're hard to get in touch with. I'm biased. Like I said, we do training. California Association of Veteran Services Officers, we have 3 conferences a year where we get retrained on this stuff from the VA, VBA, VHA. We do active trainings with CalVet. We really try and stay up top and fresh of the benefits that are available to us. And not all levels of the DAV are that way.
Yeah.
Right? They might have a local representative that has to submit papers higher up the chain. Right here, you just come into our office and we're able to do everything.
You know, and I also want to say, you know, David actually contacted me personally to upgrade my claim. So I was a DAV, filed through DAV, my initial one, and then I followed up and went to David's office and had him follow up with my claim. But he contacted me and solicited me to actually do the upgrade after I spoke with him after some time. So he's reaching out to follow up with me and say, hey, I can help you with your claim. Let's take a look at it and see what kind of increase you can get. So you get a little bit more personal attention from the VSU maybe than you would through the DAV. So I can definitely concur with him there. The next one is where can you go to apply for Chapter 35? Does the VSO offices help with that?
No, we do not at all. What I'm going to do, if you have Chapter 35, what I want you to do is go to the college and talk to the Veterans Benefits Counselor there.
Yep.
All right, because you have to have an education plan. Paperwork has to be submitted to the VA and you have to be on track. I am not an educator. I do not know that stuff, but I can help you get that Chapter 35, right? My wife used Chapter 35 and I said, go to the campus. They will help you. All right, it's her benefit.
Yep, thank you. This one requests preference of either Lake County or San Francisco VSO. I think it's personal preference, I guess.
Yeah, personal preference. I'm not in the business of rating my peers. Sorry about that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, you would just have to find out which one that you go in their office and talk with them personally and see who you can understand and relate and who's probably going to be more attentive to your needs and see how that rolls. And so that's my
it's so in Nevada County, we try to have a diverse office, right? Like I'm a Marine. Sometimes my personality doesn't connect with everybody, right? So sometimes we got to send them, or a female doesn't, you know, she doesn't really want to talk to a guy like me. So we have female staff here. We try to be really diverse in how we offer our services. Like Kirk said, we encourage our veterans when their mental health or when they have exams to call us so we can know that their exam was done and we kind of check up on it. And if they get a bad decision, we're calling them before they get we're going to try and call them before they get that letter with a plan of how we're going to attack it. So they don't get the letter and they get all discouraged and frustrated, right? We want to tell them, hey, we got a bad decision coming our way. We're working on a plan. Don't get too frustrated. This happens all the time. We can appeal. You can appeal anything with the VA. You can appeal anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that looks like it for the questions, Shuri.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kirk, for filtering through those questions, and David, most especially, thank you for fielding quite a few of them for us here. For really quick, just want to review this slide that we have on the page here. Thank you to all our presenters for sharing all information and resources today. Annette and David, thank you very much. As you can see, this slide, our information is provided, myself and Kirk's, Annette and David's. So if you have any additional questions or would like to follow up with us individually, you can call or email us there. And we will be posting this webinar on our YouTube and on our website. So if you want to replay or recant everything, you can look at it that way. Next slide here would be our upcoming events. So this is actually our final event here in December for CalTAP. The next one we'll be doing a disability claims on January 5th. And then we also have several entrepreneurship ones on the 12th and the 19th. More information and details to come on those, and you can find that on our website. Lastly, please considered filling out our survey. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar. You can fill out the survey via the QR code here on your screen by holding your camera phone up, and you can find it that way, or you can select the link there. And lastly, thank you again for your service. This concludes our webinar. Here again is our information to reach out to us, whether it's our phone number, visiting our website, or reaching out via email, and also our social media. Thank you again, and we look forward to you joining a future webinar.
Somebody raised their hand.
Oh, did someone raise their hand? Oh, someone.
Let's see, Shauna Holland, yes. Can you go ahead and type a question in the Q&A, and we'll answer it?
And while Kirk waits for that to come up, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for listening to what I have to say today. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about what my office and other VSOs in the state of California are doing. Of course, I'm biased, but I want you to know that California VSOs are regarded around the nation as one of the finest for what we do, the way we think, our mentality. We like to fight. We like to fight for our veterans. So I really encourage you to, you don't have to come to my county, but I encourage you to please go to your local VSO or ours and see what we can do to help you, assist you. We're able to we do a lot of work to try and stay at the top of our profession and our knowledge. And we really try to think outside the box and try to connect things that aren't always obvious.
Okay, so this person would like to know about the presentation slides. I did post the PDF of this presentation in the chat. If you're not able to download this, I will put it in there one more time. Let's see. And then we're also going to have a recorded portion uploaded onto our YouTube channel and our website on CalVet's website. So let me see if I can drop this in there one more time to everyone. Apologize for this delay. It's not allowing me to do this now, so.
Jim, I can see that you rose your hand there. If you want to go ahead and type whatever question you might have in the question area, if you're able to, we'd be happy to answer your question.
So, apologize for this, everyone. Let's see.
So I would just like to say, Mike, I filed my claim with the CVSO here in Fresno County. They're trained by CalVet. They do 50% of the claims in the state of California. They do this day in and day out. They know the verbiage. They know how to file a claim. They know how to appeal a claim, and they know how to go forward with claims. So I strongly advertise them. I think they do a great job. I have great respect for them and their knowledge and their continuing education on claims.
Okay, there's another raised hand. If you could please put your question in the Q&A portion so we can address it in the Q&A tab. If you open the little tab at the bottom of your page, it says Q&A. We can answer your question. Okay. So I did post the presentation of the PDF in the chat, so they should be able to download that. And this is being recorded, so they will have access to the chat and the PDF at a later time. And for those of you who would like this chat to be emailed to you, I'm going to put our email address in here. You can actually email the CalTAP email box, and we will send a copy of the chat with all the links in it back to you. Okay. And you're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I think that's it.
You're quite welcome. Yes.
All right. It's 11 o'clock, Cherie.
All right. Well, I guess this concludes the webinar. Jim, if you were unable to type here in the chat, we're still open to answering your question. We have our email address up there or anything, and we'll be happy to answer your question then. Oh, we have one last one from Chris coming through. I have not filed for any vet benefits, but I'm being told I can get a hearing aids through the VA. Is that correct?
Depends. We're gonna apply for VA healthcare. It depends on your income level. There might be a small copay. Yes, it depends. Sometimes they get turned away. Depending on your income, right? They're not going to offer hearing aids to somebody that can afford them on their own, right? If you're making a lot of income, you're not service connected. However, if you are, if you're lower income and you're using the VA benefits and that's what's happening, they are going to help you. All right. But I always recommend trying to get service connected first, because it just opens up, lack of a better term, Pandora's box. You get all these other stuff coming your way, right? I only need one condition. I'm just letting everybody know up here. I only need one condition, even if it's tinnitus. We can turn that into headaches. We can then turn it into depression. We can turn that into anything. Okay. We just need to get service connected for something, and we can always build on top of another. All right.
All righty. Thank you, David, for that. And everyone, again, thank you for attending. Annette, thank you for coming today, and Kirk being my partner here. Look forward to hearing and seeing everybody soon. Happy holidays, everyone.
Everyone did a great job. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Have a great day, everyone.